I do have like a ton of questions from you guys, but they're in a whole different folder. So I think that's enough for now. From like older question and answers. But yeah, let's get into our mini readings and then we'll close out for today. So people on Instagram, I had them just send me a little emoji if they wanted me to do a reading for them. So I have written all those down. And if you asked for a mini reading, I'll send you a picture of the card on Instagram. And then my intention with these readings is that, you know, the people who ask for the readings, they'll receive a message. But anyone who's listening right now, these messages will be collective. There's going to be something in there for you. So I ask that these messages be helpful to anyone who is listening, not just the specific people that the messages are directly for. But yes, so let me just count 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay, I think we have 8, 9. 9. Okay, we have 9 messages. So this is our first message. This is our first message, and this is for I am cheesy. So thank you. And I'm going to pull a card for you from the fauna deck. So these are different animals. I'm just asking if there's an archetype, an animal energy that could be supportive for you in this moment. So who wants to show up? So we're just going to shuffle and see who wants to show up today. Okay. Oops. Let's see. Okay. You have the pelican. So the pelican represents optimism. So to me, the message that the pelican shares is like, how much more can you hold that you didn't expect? Like when you see pelicans dive into the ocean, into the water, into rivers, you see them with their giant beaks and how like large a fish that they can contain inside of themselves, but they are still this small bird, but then when they expand their wings, they're so large. So sometimes it's like, what is unexpected about you, and how can you display like surprise element is what I hear. So, and they're showing me just like kind of this older Gandalf looking figure with like pulling his beard and kind of just like thinking whimsically. That's kind of the energy that I feel for you, which is surprise. How much more can you surprise yourself? and the world around you. So to me, the energy kind of represents like to expect the unexpected, but also to like move in on your enemies. It's kind of how I feel. Like if you see competition, like not to be scared or intimidated out of acting on your desires. Like showing up as powerfully as you are and claiming your territory, quote unquote, like and not being worried that someone else is doing it better than you because you're unique to yourself. So there isn't really this competition, is more of an illusion, and you're really kind of competing with the ideas of what other people are, because they might display to you something you desire, but it might not be what you think it is. And to really just hone into your unique, like I just keep hearing surprise, like the parts of you that it's like a hidden, I don't know, trap door, mystery door, like what's behind on the other side, and not being afraid to like leave the door open is how I am hearing it. So I hope that makes sense to you. I love the first message from the Pelican. So this next message I'm going to pull from this deck is different plants. So I'm just asking if there's a supportive plant ally, plant energy, plant entity that might be helpful in this time. So this card is for Lorena, or for Lorena, for Lorena. So I'm just going to shuffle, just asking if there is a supportive energy for Lorena and everyone else listening in this time. No. Oh, cute. Starflower. So first of all, it says finding grace on there. And then there's also peacock feathers. And we talked about the peacock energy earlier. But starflower. So this is an energy that might be helpful for you at this time. So again, that peacock, that confidence of like knowing you're going in the right direction. And then we have the star energy, which just like represents so many different things. But for this, I feel like it is accepting like, okay, so the curtains are opening, accepting that other people are perceiving what is on stage. So you might be putting that, yourself on display, but your energy on display, but how are other people receiving it? And then knowing that you are finding the grace. So finding, like we talked about at the beginning of the episode, but like finding the ability to be happy even amongst something that is chaotic. So when the show is going on, there's all this chaos going on behind the scenes. The actors are changing costumes and the lighting, and everyone's running around, and people are yelling directions or whatever. But the people in the audience, they don't see any of that. They don't know any of that. They don't hear any of that. None of that's going on to them. They're just seeing what is on display. So that's the reminder to have the grace with yourself that like people are just witnessing who you are willing to let them see. But there is, a part of you that embodies that divine chaos that is more willing to be witnessed. So who can you be if you're, the center of the stage, a star, but who can you be when you take off, the makeup, the mask, the costume, like it's kind of like when you see those videos of like someone like a Lady Gaga or something, and she's, on the street in her regular clothes, and the way that she looks and acts and speaks, you can still tell she is herself and she is that star energy, but she's dropped down to this level of humanity where we can kind of understand her if she's not in her like crazy costumes, on stage performing. She's just like you. So that's the reminder, like to allow people to see the more down to earth kind of vibe. But starflower might be a helpful energy for you. So I'm a big fan of flower essences. So you could look for starflower essence. That might be something you want to take or connect with. But it's also just, you can print out pictures of the flower. You could purchase some if you can find them at like a florist, but that's the energy. And then, same with the pelican and with this message, it might be interesting for people to just look into like the metaphysical connections of the pelican, the metaphysical uses for starflower, like maybe someone used it traditionally in a tea or something, just kind of seeing how people connect with starflower and seeing if any of that resonates for you. So that's our message. So let's see, what else do we have? Thank you guys for listening. I just don't want to miss anyone. Okay. La 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 la. So this next message is for VCM 89. Hi. I'm gonna pull one. So this is the Shamanic Healing Oracle. I'm gonna pull a card for you from this deck. And I will post a picture of all these cards on Instagram. And again, if this reading is for you, I will DM you. So this is for VCM 89. And everyone else listening, they might get a message too. What is a supportive energy for you right now? What might be something that you want to connect with that might support you in whatever your intention is in this moment? Okay, shuffle twice card in the middle is what I hear. This is the card. Omens, number 31. You're a numbers person. And we have this owl in the night sky. It's like half the night sky with stars and a crescent moon, and then flying over the day with the sunlight beaming. Omens. So oftentimes we think about omens are like signs of something negative to come, but I think sometimes it's about like identifying pathways is how I see it. So you might come across an omen, and it's going to help you understand which direction to take. So this is just a reminder too of like listening to your gut feeling in your body. Like if you feel like it's not the right decision, it's not the right decision, and trusting yourself. Um, but omens in a positive, light is also just that same thing as synchronicity, like being able to receive confirmation. Um, so just being aware of how things make you feel when you see them is the message that I'm getting. How do things make you feel when you see them? And then I'm going to read, I feel like I'm just hearing to read the book, that there might be something in here. Number 31. Oh, it's a hawk, not a owl. So that's probably why we wanted to be reminded. The hawk is also like, it's a messenger, but like, they deliver messages. And that could be a reminder for you, like, how are you delivering the messages that you're receiving? But they're also like a watchful eye, like they see everything before it happens. So that might be a connection for you, like seeing things before it happens and trusting the direction to turn. Hawks are messengers. Perfect. This majestic bird flies high and reaches the realms of the spirit. They bring back messages from both the seen and unseen. Drawing this card speaks of focus and intuition. Pay attention to the coincidences in your life right now. Focus on where you want to go. How high do you want to fly? When you see a hawk, someone is trying to get your attention. Pay attention to serendipity in your life. Be glad for this reminder that you are living in the flow of energy. Things will soon shift for you. So how do you want them to shift? That's something that could be helpful, is like even just identifying, what do I want that to look like? And how can I view things from the bird's eye? Like you're seeing it in a certain perspective right now because you're living it. But if you were to look from above or look in through someone else's perspective, you might see it differently. So the hawk is a reminder to look at things from all directions. And also, I was walking the other day, just a little like side note story confirmation, but I was walking the other day and I was sending a message to one of my friends. And she's going to be coming back on my podcast. And I was sending her a message, voicemail, like, hey, like I haven't talked to you in a while, blah, 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 just like reaching out because I had ghosted her because I just forgot to respond to her message and I felt really bad. But I also was thinking about her because I wanted to have her come on my podcast. So I was sending her these messages. And as I was sending the voicemail, a hawk flew right over my head. And I was like, oh, how cool is that? Like a beautiful confirmation like that. Like I was supposed to ask her and like, we're going to have a great conversation. But I also was just compelled to tell her like, hey, the hawk flew over my head. And when I was sharing this with you, and then she shared with me that hawk is a spirit message for her, like it's like one of her spirit guides, like, spirit animals, animal spirits, what like whatever, guidance spirits. And for me, that was just a beautiful confirmation of like, we are supposed to have this connection. So seeing how these omens, these signs show up in real life or, through relationships, because they're going to give you understanding that maybe you can't see from your perspective. So that's why it's higher guidance, because they're elevated, not because they're better. They can just see things more clearly. They have better vision than we do, just like birds. Anyway, that's your message. Thank you. What else do we have? We have Callie. I still don't know how to say your last name, by Flugen, even though you told me. But you know, this is you, Callie. Correct me. Which deck do I want to use for you? We're getting the plant card too. So I'm just going to ask if there is a plant and energy that might be supportive for Callie in this moment. So let's shuffle the deck, cleanse and clear. This message is for Callie. I was like, this is going to be a short podcast. Like almost 2 hours. Oh, this is your perseverance, Miss Callie. Perseverance. We have the dandelion card. Dandelion. We have this beautiful dandelion like popping up on the side of a cliff. And there's that beautiful sun shining right behind you with flowing rainbow light behind it. And the dandelion continues to bloom even at the edge, even in the, what's it called? I'm seeing the word, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Obelit? No. Oblique? Desolate? Sorry, I'm like seeing it psychically, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But like the even in like that dust, dirt, there's not decrepit, there's nothing around. Desolate, I think is a word. The dandelion still continues to grow. I love that. So yeah, perseverance. It's like just keep trying and not being afraid to fall, not being afraid to fail. And failure isn't bad. It's just like showing you that wasn't the right choice, that there's a different choice. And you can keep learning from each experience. It's like you rather expand and keep growing than be afraid to be rejected. Like just allowing the sun to shine on you. Dandelion too, like I'm sure you know, it's like that persistentness. It is the perseverance, it's the persistentness. It's like it grows through nothing and through everything. Like it goes through the concrete on the side of the cliff. Like anytime you pull it out, even from the roots, 35 million dandelions pop up right after it. Like, and you know, the seeds, they move through the wind, like, and that's kind of like the message for you. Like all the seeds that you have planted, they don't necessarily have to stay in one place. Like they can move like the wind with you and through you, and they can still grow even if they don't have that traditional like yard to grow in. Like they're still going to grow. Dandelions are also amazing for so many different things, but specifically for liver health. And our liver is connected to a lot of anger, anxiety, more of these heated emotions, and also like unacknowledged things. So if we're not willing to look at stuff, it can get kind of like chunked and clogged up in the liver. And so dandelion is a really supportive medicine for not only like physically helping with our liver function, but also the emotional components of that too. And, the liver is extremely important. There's so many different functions that it does for us. But one of the main things is that it helps us release excess toxins from our system. And so dandelion might help you in that, in your own life, whether that's physical toxins or emotional, mental kind of toxins. But you can think of it like people will make dandelion root coffee drinks, like it's like a replacement for coffee, and it tastes like pretty similar-ish. But a lot of people will take that if they like drink that if they're trying to get off coffee. And I see dandelion kind of as like a metaphor of that, of like the coffee is this acidity and this urgency. And the dandelion reminds us that there is no need for urgency, that everything will move and flow at its own pace, and it will pop up and grow no matter what at the right time, at the exact time that's supposed to. That's you, babe. I love that message. Also, so dandelion, delicious tea. You can take tinctures, supplements, so many things. If you're going to take any herbs, you guys, to make sure just that there's nothing like contradictory with medicines you might take or health stuff that you might experience. Just make sure that you're safe to take things when you're taking them physically. But yeah, I love me some dandelion. Also fried like dandelion, like the heads, like the flowers, so yummy. Okay, so we got Callie, we got Victoria. So this is for Catherine Ray Gundrian. Catherine Ray Gundrian. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. I'm going to pull a card from you from this deck. This one is 2 sides. So it's called the Masters, Mystics, and Saints. So there's different like archetypes with questions to ask ourselves. What I like to do is to journal on these questions, but you're welcome to do whatever you want to reflect. And then the back gives us an affirmation. So this is for Catherine. Clear cards, get clear. We're just going to shuffle. Catherine and anyone else listening who connects with the frequency of energy for this reading today. Just a side note, I am getting a very large ringing in my left ear as we're pulling your card. So sometimes that is like a sign that there's a energy or a being that is trying to connect. Perhaps there is a spirit guide or an angel that wants to deepen your connection. And if you're open, you could just ask them to come to you in your dreams or in meditation, if you have a meditation practice, or in that movement practice we talked at the beginning of class about. I keep getting this one. Yes, so I love it. And this, I love that so much. Okay, so you got 2 cards, Catherine Ray. This is funny to me. So we have 2 cards. The 2 crystals are blue topaz. So my whole spiel, I'm sure people have heard me say this before, is I love crystals. I love to collect them. I love to purchase them. But you do not need to physically own a crystal to connect with its energy. So for you, like this blue topaz, and then we have the purple agate. You could print out a picture of them, like put it on your phone background, print it out, put it on your fridge. You could purchase a stone, like I would like, that's great, but you don't have to. You could also just connect simply with the colors. So blue and purple. So blue is connected to our throat. Purple is connected to our third eye, our intuition. So I'm a big proponent of like color magic and like connecting with color through simple things like the way that we dress, through makeup, through style. Like it's really a fun way for us to do that, or even just meditating on simply like staring at a purple candle or a blue candle. There's so many different ways for us to connect. But for you, I would recommend, it might be just a fun exercise, is to look up about blue topaz and look up about purple agate. And I have a book right here, so let's see if there's anything interesting in there for you. But I'm just looking like metaphysical properties, and I find there's often a message for us, like whatever blue topaz might be, like the mythology about what it's helpful for might be an insight for you, a divine message. So what I found fun and interesting is the two entities that are connected to these cards is Mother Mary and Jesus. I just thought it was fun that they both came out because, of course, we know in mythology and religion, they are connected very much, mother and son. So that is interesting to me. That might be just a message in itself, mother and son. I don't know if you have kids or a brother, or just like the energy of birthing something. So creation, like artwork, business, gardening, creating food, like these, things outside of just like a child. But there also might be something about like the connection between mother and son. So perhaps your mother and a brother, or something in the family line with mother and son. That might be interesting to just investigate if there's anything going on ancestrally about like that relationship that might be open to healing. And this might not be for you, this might be for someone else listening, but I just wanted to share in case it's relevant. But so these are kind of like the questions for the cards. So blue topaz, and this is the Mother Mary card. Do you feel the presence of the Divine Mother? Do you seek comfort and motherly love? Align with grace and the ever-present vibration of compassion, kindness, and mercy. Decide now to release issues and vibrate at a rate that emanates peace, love, and well-being. Open your mind to allow miracles beyond your dreams to manifest. And then the message from the agate is your intuition particularly heightened at this time? Are you receiving messages from the divine? Embrace this divine gift in order to live a charmed and enlightened life. Help others attain freedom from suffering and find happiness and peace. Pursue training to develop your intuitive gifts and use them freely. And I always like tell people this, like when we develop our intuition, like I teach this in my classes, like you might be meant to do psychic readings or whatever, like I do, but you helping people with your intuition doesn't necessarily mean you have to be like a psychic reader. There's so many more ways that we can do that. And everyone has their unique way. So when it says like to pursue your intuitive gifts, like don't be blocked into only believing that means like I need to learn how to read tarot cards now, or I need to be a palm reader now. Like maybe that's your path. But it's really about like the intuition is connecting with the authentic self. And from there, we can understand what we need to do to align with our desired outcome. So Mother Mary. And these are affirmations. So again, I will share with you these on Instagram. So Mother Mary, I am an instrument of peace and love. I honor the presence of the Great Mother. I invoke guidance for everyone, including myself, to embrace peace. I open my ears to hear guidance from the divine feminine. My heart is open to divine love. And this is the message from Jesus. I feel and know the presence of the divine within and around me. I attract good friends and acquaintances into my life. The people I spend time with are people of integrity. I am divinely connected to all life. The part with the friendships and the people I spend time with seems to stick out to me. So just like for you and for anyone else listening, I think that is a big theme that's showing up right now of like finding the divine family, the divine relationships. Like that's not just like what we think of as soulmates. It's more complicated than that, but like there are people who will understand you through and through. And when you've never experienced like a safe relationship like that, it can be really hard to let things into your life. And you might be worried about letting people in. So that's something that Jesus and Mary can help us with. So I just wanted to look up briefly if there's anything about blue topaz that might be helpful. This book is called Gemstones A to Z. It's written by Diane Stein. She is the writer of Essential Reiki. It's a very, very popular book. And it's something I encourage my students to read if they take Reiki with me. But this is just kind of like her descriptions of the metaphysical properties of different stones. And there's 3,000 bajillion blogs where you can learn more about crystals. But I like this book. But let's see if topaz is in here. Topaz. Let's see. My nose is so itchy too, and that happens a lot when spirit comes in. E, Q. I'm so bad at with alphabetical. Oh, here we go. Okay, we got the T's. Let's see. Let us see. Tiger. Topaz. Blue. Okay. So, this is connected to the throat. So aids in feeling one's anger and releasing it. Promotes understanding and feeling one's emotions and emotional pain. Supports learning one's true and real feelings and honoring them. This is perfect. Aids letting go of anger and resentment. Aids surrendering to forgiveness of oneself and others. Promotes turning one's pain over to the goddess and the light for healing. So the goddess, the light, source, God, Jesus, Mother Mary, whoever you want to like lend your love to. And then let's see if the agate's in here. I don't. And then we'll move on. This has been fun. I'll definitely do this again with the reading. I hope you enjoy. Purple agate. Black, blue. There's so many different kinds of agates. I'm not seeing her in here. Nope. Okay, sorry. Sorry to waste your time, but the agate wasn't in there. But anyway, you can learn more about this card and also just asking the crystals to reveal any messages to you. So that was for Catherine. And then I think we have a few more and then we'll be done for today. Okay. We have Catherine, Callie, Keezy, Tori. We have Meg, and then Meg. Yeah. Okay. Veil of Ice. This will be your message. Oh yeah, and then we have Yolanda. Okay, we have 3 more cards, you guys. 3 more messages. Oh, we had more questions I missed. We'll have to do a part 2. Okay, guys. So this is for Veil of Ice. I'm gonna do the shamanic oracle for you. So this is your message. So first, let's just cleanse the deck. Bring forward a message for a veil of ice. Clear. What is a message for you? I miss you, by the way. Some of the people here I've done readings for before. This person's my friend. Shout out. But some of the people here, I mean, you're all my friends. I love you guys. But some of the people here I've done readings for before, so it's always fun to kind of tap into that energy again. See what's changed. So okay, you have 2. So we have number 35, inner journey, and number 36. Oh, 35 and 36. That's so interesting. One right after another. And the deck's been shuffled a million times. Grounding. That's kind of interesting. So like the inner journey that you're working on is leading you to the grounding, is leading you to feeling safe in your body, comfortable in your body, like aligned with who you are in human experience and not feeling like you have to escape the reality in front of you. So the inner journey is what's leading you there, like being able to know yourself in and out through each, like to me these are like aspects of self. These are the directions, so you know, and the elements, so all those make up who you are. But to me it's kind of like unfurling of each aspect and element of who you are in order to drop down into the deepest part of inner understanding. And it's like seeing for the first time. I don't know how to explain this. They're showing me a visual for this. So it's like going into a dark room and like you're blindfolded, like everything is dark. And like you can feel that there is things around you, like you feel the sense, the presence of like maybe there's a couch in the corner, like you know there's things in there and you're not alone. But all of a sudden, you know, you take the blindfold off and the lights turn on, you can finally see all the things that are around you. And some of those things are things you wouldn't expect. You're like, wow, I have all these amazing, powerful tools in front of me, and I just didn't notice them before. And then some of them might be things that we weren't ready to look at yet because there was so much other stuff we've been unfolding on the journey. I also know you, so I know you're in school and doing some things like that. So that is also providing like a pathway for yourself to understand yourself deeper. And then whatever you want to do with that will allow you to have this grounded reality. So creating a world, career-wise, lifestyle-wise, that accommodates who you authentically are. And so you don't have to be other people in order to be successful. This all goes back to the fear of success that we were talking about earlier too. So if you haven't watched my meditation yet, maybe you should. But anyway, I'm proud of you and I love you. And for everyone else listening, I'm proud of you and I love you. And this is so important for all of us too, is the grounding factor. When everything is so chaotic, like we talked about earlier around us, it's so easy to get swept up in that. So learning how to not be swayed by other people's stories. We can empathize, but we don't have to, if everyone jumped off a bridge with you, like that's the vibe. It's like, you don't have to follow anyone else. Like you're creating your own lane. We're going the fast lane, baby. That's what I hear. Like that's what I hear. Let's go, bitch. I'm excited for you. It's not like it's not hard, but it is worth it. So good job. Okay, we have Yolanda, and then we have Amber. I think that's it. Let's just double check. I'm excited to do Amber's. Also, you guys, when I was on my walk today, you are not gonna be able to see what I'll post on Instagram. There was like a bunch of beautiful cows hanging out underneath this tree. They were working. You know how like sometimes cows and goats or whatever, they'll take them out into the parks to like eat grass or whatever. They were working. I sent them some Reiki. It was cool. Okay, so that's the last two. So we have Yolanda, right? Okay. Yeah, so this is for Yom. I don't know how to pronounce your handle. Yom Yolymphoto. Yolanda. This is your message. So I'm gonna pull one from this deck, which is kind of a beast to open, so bear with me. This is one of my favorite decks. It's really beautiful. It's called the Archetypes. What's her name? By Kim Krans. The Wild Unknown is her like business name. But I love these cards. First of all, they're circular, but they connect us with different archetypes. So archetypes are, if you're unfamiliar, anyone listening, it's like aspects of humanity that we can all identify with. So if you think about tarot, all those things like the Fool, the High Priestess, like those are all archetypes. Those are all aspects of us that we all have that we can all connect with. So there is things inherent to our life that we all embody at certain times. So I'm just asking for Yolanda, like if there's an archetype that might be helpful to embody in this moment. And then these are hard to shuffle because they're circular, but they're just really cool. The images are beautiful. She has long descriptions, so I'll read that too, but we'll see what channels through. So this is for Yolanda and anyone else listening. Okay. This is your card. Wait. Is this the card? A bunch of them popped out, so I want to see. This is how I asked. I asked yes or no. This is the card. Yes. Okay. So we have. Wait. That's feeling wrong to me. I'm just going to shuffle them again. That doesn't feel right to me. So don't be afraid to try again. A bunch of them fell out. And sometimes when a bunch falls out, I'm like, okay, that's the message. Like there's like 7 cards and they say all are relevant. But like it just felt more like a mistake than like a divine, like, oop. So this is the card. This is the card. This is the card. Okay. Okay. This is the card. See, I'm getting yes. Okay. And that's just like a little tool I use. I use my body as a pendulum to get a confirmation. So we have for you, this is the energy that spirit is like, let's embody this now. So this is the nectar, the nectar. So that juicy goodness, like when you know, eat into a summer peach and the juice drips down your mouth, like that gooey juiciness, like that is the energy that we want to embody, like the gold, what is so shiny and so bright, like that we can't even truly see it because it's shining so brightly. That's the energy we want to embody, the sweetness. And then the rose is like that unfurling magic within. So our ability to connect with our heart and our ability to display our heart to others, like share our love connection. And that can be romantic love, but it's really a more, this in the moment is really more about like divine love, seeing the spark of humanity within everything and everyone, and being able to relate to that nectar. The pink and the orange color really stands out to me, of like sherbet and like summertime. Like it's, to me, it really feels like connecting with that inner, I think like 12, 13 years old, like when you really begin to feel a little bit different from a child, but you're not quite, not a girl, not yet a woman, but you're not quite an adult yet. Like there is almost like a fear to drop into that innocence. And so spirit is reminding that the more that we can embody the nectar, like the juiciness and just like playfulness and fun, that it will be easier to like unfold memories is how they're explaining it. So being able to see where the innocence left us and where we can like reclaim that. So like, you know, maybe when you were a kid, you didn't understand things about the world, that we understand now. Like, how can we reclaim our innocence? Innocence template is what the guys always explain it to me. Like, who are we without society's like templates, stories, frameworks, like, and the nectar is the inner juice. What does she say about the nectar? I'm curious. The nectar. In Hindu mythology, there is a miraculous substance known as the amrit, or nectar, that contains infinite healing power. This is basically sexual fluids, so you know, the amrit. There's some interesting mythologies about like oral sex type of stuff and the sexual fluids that people would drink from like priestesses and things like that. That's not necessarily in Hinduism, but there is a lot of mythology and story about that in more like modern, like mystery schools, Isis temples, things like that. You might find it interesting. But it's also like the reminder that like what gives life gives life. So like if we connect with the womb, the vaginal area, the sacral area, like that is our ability to create, whether you have a physical vagina or womb or not, but that's our ability to create. So thinking about like the nectar, the juice, the fluid that comes from there, like that, it is a physical representation of that. So it sounds kind of like, ooh, what the heck? But there is a lot of interesting mysticism around it. Anyway, the golden nectar sacred elixir is a drink of immortality, and it's like, and its sister substance, soma, you guys can Google that, is known to activate subtle intelligent forces that ease the mind, body, and spirit. Though esoteric, these images lead us to the central energy of this archetype, the sweet, potent, heavenly essence that lubricates our spirit back to life. The nectar cart calls us to identify and relish in places, practices, and people, and activities that regenerate and heal. Medicine is needed, and it comes in subtle form that may be overflowing. Seek the most sensuous, fragrant flower in the garden that you have forgotten. Don't underestimate this remedy. It is said that when someone has activated this substance within, it is reflected in their shimmering eyes. I love that. So one like physical representation of that would be like honey and connecting with bee energy. So like the actual animals, observing them, bees and butterflies and hummingbirds, but specifically honey is coming up. So perhaps you want to, consume something with honey in it, like tea or whatever like that. So yeah, that's your message. And then lastly, we have Amber Chooch. So this is the message for Amber. Let's see what deck I want to use for you. I'm getting the plant one for you too. So this is for Amber. I'm just gonna clear if there's any messages that want to come forward. What would be a supportive plant or energy for you in this moment? Oh, there you go. What did you get? Let's see. Chickweed. Oh, I love that. Start fresh. And chickweed is the spring plant. It is all about starting anew, starting fresh, internally. So people will take chickweed in the spring to like help with like detoxing, so like cleansing liver, kidneys, that kind of thing, like a physical cleanse, kind of spring cleaning the insides. But then it's also representing like our ability to step forward without getting tangled in the past. So if you've ever looked at chickweed, like I'm sure it grows literally everywhere, like starting a couple weeks ago where I live. I'm not sure if it is out where you are yet because it's probably still cold, but you can look up pictures, but it's like it's a kind of like brambly, like they'll grow over each other. So it's kind of like I said, stepping forward without getting stuck in the past, like starting fresh, like, but also the magnifying glass really sticks out to me. So not being afraid to uncover like what's underneath these flowers. So what's on display, what's underneath, what's on display. And then in this image behind it is all these constellations. So to me, it's like representing the constellations is kind of like two things I think of when I see this for you. The constellations is kind of like a representation of your cosmic self, your multidimensional self, whole self, authentic self. And then the chickweed allows you to start fresh, but you still have that template of like who you are naturally, innately, like cosmically. So you don't have to try to embody this version of you. You already are that, but you have the opportunity to make new relationships, new decisions, new opportunities. And then of course we have like the literal interpretation of just like that spring is coming and things are starting to be bright and shiny and new. But I think it's also like not examining too deeply at your own reflection is almost how I see it, of like, yeah, not having to look back and see like if you made a decision before, you don't have to make that same decision again, but not thinking too hard about the decision is how I hear it. Like less second guessing and just doing it because it feels good. And not being afraid, of like utilizing parts of the past to bring you your future, but not feeling like you have to embody all of those aspects of past version of you. Just starting fresh, starting new. Like, I don't know why they're giving me this example, but it's just an easy one to relate to. But like if you get a new phone, like, and you don't transfer all your pictures and all your contacts and you just, everything's brand new and fresh. It's kind of like that is how I see it, of like, just, it's fine. We learned so much from what we did, but we don't need to hold on to all those books and stories and thoughts. Like they led us in the direction and now we can just like get a new phone, start anew, start fresh. Like what is drawing you in and what's exciting about that opportunity and what is scary about it, and then addressing What is exciting? More, because that's what's going to push you towards it, not the fear. But yeah, very exciting. Chickweed makes delicious pesto, just saying. So if it grows near you, probably in like August, because you live in a cold place. But yeah, if it grows near you, I would think just like making some pesto with it is really delicious. You could use it basically instead of basil. And it's hella yummy. It's kind of like an arugula. It's a little spicy, but I think that could be a fun little project. But you can also connect in so many different ways with all the plants. You don't need to consume them, but they do have the physical benefits that might be interesting. And this is one that specifically helps with the lymphatic system, so flushing excess inflammation out of the body. So yeah. So thank you everyone for listening. We just asked to send everyone energy back to them, pulling all my energy back to me.